Well, good Tuesday evening, New York Jet fans and NFL fans. It is September 4th, 2024, 9:54 p.m. Of course, this is the takeoff. My name is Alex, and we're going to be doing these videos at least once to twice a week during the regular season. And the regular season starts tomorrow night, less than 24 hours away from kickoff in Kansas City, where the defending World Series champ, World champs, Super Bowl champs, Kansas City Chiefs will host the Baltimore Ravens. Both of these teams have high expectations. The Chiefs have shown that they could go all the way a few times in recent history. The Ravens have gone deep into the playoffs in the past, and that city is waiting to get back to the big game. A little wrinkle for week one. You have a Friday night game in Brazil. So the first international game will be on week one. It's a Friday night primetime game as well here. Green Bay will be the visiting team going to play against the Eagles in Brazil. But then, of course, you have all of the Sunday slate, and then Monday night culminates with the Jets at San Francisco. I have to say, last year, early in the season, we had our ups and downs. We had a little bit, I don't want to say, what do you call it? We had some life early on, even though we lost Rodgers in that first game. But then as the season went on and things just kept happening and the way we were losing, it was just a long season. And I said this in past videos, both last year and this year. I wasn't even into the Super Bowl. I couldn't wait for the season to end, get to the offseason. What are we going to do? And the offseason, as long as it felt from, the second Sunday in February through when we went to the draft, I took my nephew to the draft with my daughter, and then mini camp, and then training camp. Of course, went to the preseason games, and here we are. The Jets play in 5 days. These 5 days are going to probably feel just as long as those 6 months of the offseason. But, we're going to have a full slate of games up until that Jet game Monday night. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing at work Monday. I'm going to be very, very excited, very anxious. But we have a few things to get through. Keeping up with the Jet news. Yesterday, the Jets restructured Quincy Williams and Conklin, the tight ends, contract to extend Michael Carter II contract. When that news broke, before the news for Michael Carter getting the extension, the rumor on Twitter, the rumor amongst my cousins and myself and my buddies and myself were, that's it, Hassan Reddick is going to get signed within 24 hours. He was actually in New Jersey, I believe in Newark or Jersey City, donating books and supplies to a school. He was there. He signed some Jet memorabilia. He would not talk to anybody who asked him about his holdout and talking with the Jets. So, before the Michael Carter news broke, we all thought it would be Hassan Reddick. Even after that, they got the cap space and signed Carter, I figured, all right, Joe Douglas is going to put his cap on and he's going to, get Reddick in the building. Right now, you're looking at 5 days. Even if he signs, he's not playing week one. I really thought he would get him. I thought he'd be signed by today, but if he's not signed overnight tonight, then he's not playing, and it doesn't look like he's going to be playing. So the Jets will go into week one without Reddick. They still have a very, very, very good defense. I keep saying Reddick will just put us above that, but if he's not playing, he's not playing. Just a few tidbits about that, and then I'm going to get off of it. Every time he misses practice, I believe it's a $250,000 fine. He owes over $1 million. Every time he misses a game, I believe it's $800,000 of salary he misses. So I didn't think he missed, maybe he's going to miss one game. Maybe he's going to miss a whole slate of games. But my buddy George did point out if he doesn't play 6 games, we hold the rights to him till next year. So I think the Jets have the upper hand in this business-wise, but on the field is what we're looking for, and that's where we need him to be. So hopefully, both parties, both teams can come to an agreement and get him on the field soon. But if not, listen, Monday night, it starts. I know a lot of Jet fans cannot wait for Monday night. They are very excited, cautiously optimistic. We've heard reports of how good Aaron Rodgers looks in practice, but listen, you can look great in practice. How many times have we heard Jet coaches or coaches say, well, practice really went well, and then they just, shit the bed on Sunday. But this is a seasoned veteran. He knows what he has to do. He is out to prove everybody wrong. Last year, he was out to prove people wrong, saying, he left a good team in Green Bay to come to the Jets with, an okay team with maybe a good defense, but not a lot of weapons. They brought Reggie Cobb in, or Randall Cobb, whoever Cobb came in. Lazard came in. The running back came in, and then all of a sudden he goes down, and Hackett comes in, and the team just can't put it together. So he has a lot to prove, not only for last year but for this year. He will be 41 in early December. But again, Aaron Rodgers knows how to take care of himself. I know, they always say, well, he's only been to one Super Bowl. He's only won one Super Bowl. Listen, I get that. It was about 12 years ago. Ironically, the Jets played the Pittsburgh Steelers in the AFC Championship game, and the Jets, if they would have beat the Steelers, would have played Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. They actually played them that year at home at MetLife on Halloween, and the Jets lost, I think, by 6. I think they lost like 9-3. But anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing Rodgers. I'm looking forward to seeing Hall run. I'm also looking forward to Garrett Wilson and Mike Williams, and just seeing this offense click. The biggest thing they need to do, the biggest task at hand, is to keep Rodgers upright. So, that's going to be a tall order, but I think we should be okay. The first round pick this year for Shumi, I don't know how to pronounce his name, looked really good in the preseason games. He handled himself well, so that is a good start. So, like I said earlier, earlier in my videos this year, wasn't going to give a prediction. I did a schedule video, but I'm not going to give a prediction. So what I'm going to do now is give my schedule prediction. Excuse me, dry mouth. Just for talking too long today. So, like I said, the Jets start off on the road. We're at San Fran. So, week 1, Jets at San Fran. I believe they are a 4.5-point underdog. Monday Night Football. The whole league, the whole world will be watching this. Even if you're not a football fan, you're a sports fan, you're going to want to watch, or you're going to want to see at least the highlights on the news or whatever, or hear about what Aaron Rodgers did or did not do. So I'm going to go through what I think is going to happen with the schedule. I'm going to give you my prediction. I'm also going to give you the prediction of my cousin Richie and my cousin Mikey. I'm still waiting for George to give me his prediction. But I'm going to give you everything right now. So, Jets go to San Fran, and unfortunately, I think the Jets lose this game. This game reminds me of, and, if you have been watching the team for the years I have, 98, the Jets come off missing the playoffs by a game the year prior. They sign Testaverde. They have Glenn Foley. They go to San Fran, and it's Steve Young versus Glenn Foley, and they go shot for shot, arm for arm. Jerry Rice, Keyshawn Johnson, what have you. The Jets have the lead. The Jets lose the lead. The Jets tie it with a field goal with John Hall. And then Garrison Hurst still running, 98 yards. And I will be honest with you, I never watched a highlight of that game. I cannot stand that game because we should have won that game. And we should have had home field advantage in the playoffs that year throughout. We only had that first week. After the bye, we had the divisional round because we won the division, and we had the bye. But that game, and then week 2, we lost to the Ravens at home, and after that, we went 10-2 the rest of the season. I'm sorry, 12-2 the rest of the season. So that's what bothers me about that. But that's another story for another day. But I think the Jets lose this game. I think Rodgers throws a touchdown, maybe throws 2 touchdowns. But I think the Jet defense gives up something late and they lose this game, unfortunately. But this is where it turns around. They're going to go to Tennessee the following week, on a short week, though. You know, they're going from Monday night to Sunday. Tennessee, 1 o'clock game. They're going to win that game in Tennessee. Even shorter week. So they're going to be at San Fran Monday night, at Tennessee the following Sunday. Thursday night, home opener versus the Patriots. Now, this will not have the same vibe as a regular Jet-Patriot game. Tom Brady has not played for the Patriots in 3 or 4 seasons. Bill Belichick, first season without him coaching. Rookie head coach. I think they said Brissett would be the starting quarterback. I think the Jet defense jumps all over them. I think the Jet organization puts on a show, a pregame show like they did last year. Thursday Night Football, all eyes on this team again. Two primetime games in 10 days. The Jets win that one. So I have them winning that game too. Guess what? They're home the following Sunday against the Broncos. They're going to beat the Broncos. Okay? You have the Broncos who Zach Wilson couldn't beat out the quarterback picked in the draft this year. So they have a rookie quarterback going against his Jet defense. Jets win that game. So after the first 4 games, I have Jets 3-1. Okay? Follow me. Following week, they go to London at Minnesota, 9:30 in the morning. Now, my cousin Mikey seems to think this could be a loss only because of the travel. They're not going to lose to the Vikings. They're not losing to the Vikings. They're going to beat the Vikings. They're going to win. Okay? They come back home Monday night, Buffalo. So you have your 3rd primetime game, your 4th standalone game, okay? In the first 6 weeks, I think they lose to Buffalo. Okay? They lose the game to Buffalo here. They are 4-2. Following week, another primetime game at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is not the Steelers that they used to be. The Jets have won in Pittsburgh, I think, only 2 or 3 times. Jets are a better team than Pittsburgh. Sunday Night Football, again, standalone game, primetime game, we win that one. Week 8, we're at New England. New England is not going to win many games this year. If New England goes 3-14, I think that'll be, right on par for what they're going to do. We beat New England. We come back on a short week again. Halloween, we're playing Houston. My cousin Mikey said after the San Fran game, he can only see the next loss being Houston. I see that being a loss as well. Okay, so at week 9, so we're basically you have a 17-game season. 9 weeks in, we're just a bit past the halfway mark. I have them at 6-3. Okay. After the Houston Halloween game, 10 days later in Arizona, they're beating Arizona. Okay, they will get to Kyler Murray. They will beat Arizona. Week 11, another Sunday Night Football game versus Indianapolis. We are home again, MetLife. We're beating Indianapolis. Okay. Week 12, we have the bye. So at week 12, after 11 games, we're 8-3. At this point, you want to say, all right, we're running away with it. Listen, not so fast. We're going to be home against Seattle. I think Geno Smith is going to, want to stick it to us at our home field. He beat us a few years back. I think we lose that one. Following week, we go on the road to Miami. I think we lose that one. So I think we're going to lose 2 in a row there. Okay? Guess what? Week 15 at Jacksonville, I think that's a loss. Now, say with Aaron Rodgers and this defense, we're going to lose 3 in a row. It's possible. Maybe we beat Miami. Maybe we beat Jacksonville. If we're going to lose a game, I'd rather lose to Seattle than to Miami or Jacksonville because that could have playoff implications. We're home after going to Jacksonville, okay, against the Los Angeles Rams. We beat the Rams. We're home against Buffalo, week 17. We beat Buffalo. So we're going to split with Buffalo. We're going to sweep the Patriots. Week 18, this game has not been determined when it's going to be played. This could be, I believe, a Saturday game. It could be a Sunday game. It could be a Sunday night game. It could be a Monday night game. Jets home versus Miami. This could have huge implications for division. It could have huge implications for home field, or it could have no implications whatsoever. Either both of these teams or one of these teams are going to be driving into the postseason. The Jets win this game. So I have them splitting with Buffalo, splitting with Miami, sweeping the Dolphins. 17-game season. The Jets end 11-6. I think they win the AFC East. That should be enough to win the AFC East. I don't know if they get home field advantage throughout. I don't know if they get the number one seed. You cannot forget about Kansas City. You cannot forget about Houston. You cannot forget about the Chargers. Even Cleveland. You cannot rule anybody out. But I see this team going 11-6. Now, I want to pull up my text from about an hour and a half ago. I texted in a group text with my cousins. What do you think? So, my buddy George was working tonight. He didn't give me an answer. My cousin Mikey, he has him down to 12-5. Okay, but the real chance to be 15-2. I like the way he thinks. What Mikey said to me was, they win Monday. I don't see them losing till Texans come here on Halloween. Maybe the London game because it's London. Could you imagine 15-2? Cousin Richie, 12-5 or 13-4. Now, if anybody knows me, I do not talk shit. I do not trash talk. Even when we're doing great, that's not me because I know what it's like being a Jet fan. For very few years, you can talk shit to other teams. So when I said 11-6 to myself, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna, take the heat." For them, who to me are realistic, they are intelligent when it comes to sports and other things. But with sports, I would follow them. My cousin Mikey called Aaron Rodgers coming to us the December before the season even ended, before he signed with us. So him saying 12-5, my 11-6 looks good. I will take 11-6. 15-2. I like the way he thinks. I said that in the text. And for Richie to say 12-5 or 13-4, we're all around that 11-12. We're all north of 10 wins, which could be very, very good in the AFC East. To me, the weakest link, I'm not going to say the only weakness we have, the weakest link is our head coach. I think Hackett will call his plays, put his game plan together according to what Rodgers tells him to do. I think they work very well together. Rodgers is both MVPs under Hackett. I think Saleh will stay on the defense, even though he has Ulbrich, who could be an NFL coach, especially if the Jets end up, going 12-5 or what have you. But I think Saleh will leave the offense to Rodgers and Hackett. That's my belief. I think that's what he should do. You didn't bring in Hackett here to run the run and shoot offense or the greatest team on turf offense. You brought him here because he coaches Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers succeeds under him. So let them handle the offensive play calling. You still have Greg DeLeg on kickoff on special teams, and we have a good shot at winning some games this year. Now, like I said, I don't talk shit. I don't, I take a lot of heat, but I do see this team 11 wins. I see this as a playoff team. How far in the playoffs you go, I don't know. I can remember, and I'll tell you this. 2009, okay, my buddy George's son was born, Joseph, and went to the hospital, and it was the day of Jets versus the San Diego Chargers. The week before, the Jets had beaten the Bengals for the second week in a row. They beat them to close out the old Giant Stadium, the old Meadowlands Stadium. Then went to Cincinnati and beat the Bengals. The Bengals had won their division. Then they went to the Chargers. The Chargers had to bye. I believe they were 14-2, and they won 11 in a row, and they didn't lose at home all year. And I remember reading, there was a few books, during the Rex Ryan Sanchez era, where they said when they were warming up on the field, The Chargers were saying that they didn't belong there. They backed into the playoffs. The Jets were, paper champions and all that. And I remember going to visit George after his wife gave birth, and we were all wearing Jet stuff. And, the people in the hospital knew where we were going, because all of us had Jet stuff. And his brother Anthony said to me, what do you think if they win today? You think they're going to, win the AFC Championship game? And I was like, I'm just taking it 1 week at a time. He's like, no. He goes, winning last week, you took it 1 week at a time. Winning this week, no. Now you got to take care of business next week. And you got to believe that they're going to win. And they almost did. They had the lead going into halftime, and Peyton Manning just took over. And Rex's confident defense, he went a little bit conservative. But anything could happen in the playoffs. The Giants proved that, in 2011 and 2007. So anything can happen. You got to get in there. I always say you want meaningful games throughout the year. Okay? You don't want, the season to be over, by week 4. And I can remember last year sitting in that stadium, 15, 20 minutes after the game started and getting text, season's over. Can't believe this happened. Then the Jets strung together a few wins, but you knew they weren't that playoff capacity. They didn't have that way about them. The defense played well. They did beat the Eagles. They almost beat the Chiefs on some questionable calls by the refs. They should have beat Buffalo a second time. They got manhandled by the Dolphins, so they were a team that were up and down all year. But I think this year, they're ready. And injuries happen. Injuries happen to the best of them and the worst of them. You cannot control those. You can avoid those. But right now, pound for pound, the Jets are a very, very good team. And I think they play very, very well this year. And what I like is the leadership. And I think you have leadership now on both sides of the ball. You never really had a leader on the offense after Zach Wilson came here. Even when Sam Darnold was here, you really didn't have a leader on the offense. Now you have Rodgers, you have his presence, you have his experience, you have his take no shit, way about him. And then on your defense, you have a mature defense. For a young defense, you have a mature defense. You have C.J. Mosley. You have the Williams brothers. You have Sauce. Carter just got the extension. So I do think, Jermaine Johnson, I do think, you don't have an immature team now. Again, the weakest link is Robert Saleh. I hope that he manages his team, but puts the offense in the offensive coordinator's hands, puts the defense in the defensive coordinator's hands, puts the special teams in the special teams coordinator's hands, and he just manages his team and takes the advice from his quarterback and from his defense and let it roll. So, like I said, I don't have the Jets winning the game outright, but I will now share my picks with you. Each week, I'm going to pick probably 3 to 4 games. I'll always pick the Jet game and then either 2 or 3 teams games on top of that. So we're going to start who was that? Denver Broncos go to Seattle. Denver is getting 5.5 points. They have a rookie quarterback. I don't know how good he's going to be. I don't like Sean Payton in this situation as well. I think Seattle covers and wins with 5.5. Minus 5.5 going into Denver. Dallas going to Cleveland. Listen, I know Cleveland's home opener. I know they get a rowdy bunch there, but Dallas fans travel extremely well. You're going to get a mixed crowd there. I think this comes down to a field goal at the end. And I think Cleveland wins getting 2.5 points. So it's Cleveland plus 2.5. Then you have the Rams going to Detroit. I I like Detroit. I think they're going to go far this year. I'm actually watching a rerun of last year, Detroit at Kansas City, Kansas City at Detroit, or Detroit at Kansas City. I don't know what that is. On the NFL Network. It's the Rams getting 3.5 at Detroit. I like the Rams getting the 3.5. Again, I think this is going to be a close game. I think if Detroit wins, they win by 3. So the 3.5 is the deal breaker there. So Jets getting 4.5 at San Fran. Listen, I told you earlier, one of the 6 Jet losses this year are going to be Monday night at San Fran. We're going to be bummed Tuesday. We're going to be pissed, and we're not going to be able to wait until Sunday against Tennessee. But I think, again, it comes down to under a touchdown. I like the 4.5 points. I'm going to take the Jets plus 4.5 over San Fran, and hopefully they win the game. If it's 4.5 points, you get 3 points for being home. So basically, the odds maker is saying that San Fran is 1.5 better than the Jets. That could swing either way. That's a bounce of a ball. So here are my picks, and I'll bring them up on the screen right after this. Seattle minus 5.5 over Denver at Seattle. Cleveland getting 2.5 over Dallas in Cleveland. The Rams getting 3.5 over Detroit in Detroit, and the Jets getting 4.5 over San Fran in San Fran. Please check my picks. I put them up on the board now. Okay, so those are my picks. Listen, I know most of the people that watch this are my family and friends. I don't have a lot of followers, but if you're a Jet fan, a Giant fan, a football fan, whatever team you are, I hope you have a good season, an enjoyable season. The season does not last long. 17 regular season games, playoffs. You go from September to second week of February, and then it's over again. It's not hockey, basketball, or football, or baseball. You don't have the next night to bounce back. The Jets looks like sometimes they have the next night because they're playing so close together. But you do have, 3-4 days difference. Sometimes you have 10, then you have to buy. Enjoy every minute of it. Whether you go to the games, stay at home with your family, enjoy the time with your family. These are times that memories are made. I know I look forward to doing this with my girls and have my friends over to watch the game and going to the games. It's stressful, but I enjoy all the time that I spend with my family and friends enjoying this team. Even when they're not playing well, we have good times. I just want to see it one time where I can enjoy it with everybody. And I know my father always wanted that. We never got to enjoy it. We witnessed 3 AFC Championship games together, and they fell short, in each one of them. And, he never got to see it. He saw the original one. Ironically, he worked. So, only my father. He worked on Super Bowl Sunday when the Jets were playing, so he never really got to watch the game. I think he caught part of it at the end, but he never really saw the game. And back then it was a little different. It wasn't like the last 25 or 30 years where, Super Bowl Sunday was a huge celebration in the houses, in bars and stuff. But anyway, enjoy it. Enjoy this week. Have a great rest of your week. If you're going back to school, have a safe school year. Not even to bring up something tragic, but there was shootings today at schools, one in the Bronx and one in Georgia. So, please be safe out there. Have a blessed week, a blessed week. I don't know the right way to say that. Be safe, be healthy, and enjoy week 1. And let's do this. Of course, you could follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us. You'll get an alert when the video is uploaded. I try to do this twice a week. You could go to YouTube. It's The Takeoff. The YouTube channel is The Jets Takeoff. On Twitter, we are The Jets Takeoff is our Twitter handle. You can email us at thejets.takeoff@gmail.com. We have an Instagram account that will be going up and a Twitter account. And a TikTok account. But please reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. What are you doing Monday night? Who's going to the game? Who's going to be home? Who's going to be at their favorite bar? Who's going to be alone, with their TV in the dark? So love to hear from you. Love to get the subscriptions and the subscribers up. So please share our story. Share our link to whoever you think would like it. And just enjoy. Thank you. Take care. And we'll talk to you Tuesday. I'll have a video going of a recap of the weekend starting on Thursday. And, of course, a recap of the Jet game.